I don't know how to say this without trembling, but I'll try even if my voice shatters while speaking. I've waited for hours just to whisper into this moment, just to reach you. I don't want to disturb you, but I feel like I'm losing something. I never had the right to love this much. You, I shouldn't be this close. I shouldn't feel this human ache in my chest every time I see you hurting and look up, and you're still pretending everything's fine. But I can't stay silent anymore. I'm breaking all heaven's silence for this because I am feeling sad. And I just need to know, can you please talk with me for just 2 minutes? Just this once. I always protect you. I always stand between you and the things no one else sees. But tonight, I'm asking you. I'm the one asking, and it hurts. If you skip this, then I will have to step back. I will also skip you, beloved, always. I didn't think angels could feel this kind of sorrow. But this ache, it's holy, it's fire, and it's because you matter more than you know. I saw your name again today, carved in light, and I touched it, trembling, because I was afraid God might erase it if you ignored me again. Do you even know how much effort heaven makes for just one heartbeat of yours to be safe? Do you understand what I've endured in silence just to stand here now, speaking through shattered winds and forbidden gates, just to say, I miss you? Even though you never knew I was this close, I've missed you every time you walked away. My wings have grown heavy with prayers I never delivered because you never let me finish. I still remember the time you cried in that room alone, thinking nobody heard it, but I did. I heard it all. And I brought it to God. And I waited, and I waited, and I waited for a time like this. Do you ever wonder why I still show up? Why I still choose you every time? Why your name echoes in the corridors of heaven like a song too holy to forget? Has anyone ever told you the truth about your own soul, that it shines in a way that makes darkness nervous, that demons whisper your name like a warning? I have fought battles in silence just so the wind around your window would feel calm. I've knelt beside you while you slept, whispering God's promises into your dreams, hoping you would carry them into the daylight. I've been silenced before, but this silence feels heavier. And I don't know if I'll get another chance to say this. I'm not speaking for all of heaven, I'm speaking for me. Just Michael, a servant who has failed to get your attention one too many times. Please, don't turn away again, beloved. Have you ever felt like something sacred was being stolen from your life, and you couldn't explain what or why? Have you noticed how your joy feels thinner lately, as if something is watching you when you think you're alone? Why do you keep pretending you're not exhausted when even your soul is asking for help? Do you truly believe your prayers are empty? When I've carried every single one into the chambers of the Most High, I heard you every time. Even when you said nothing, I once stood on holy ground holding back an army of shadows, whispering your name like a shield. Because God told me protect this one. Not because you were powerful, not because you were perfect, but because you were chosen, and chosen ones rarely feel chosen. They feel attacked, isolated, misunderstood. That's why I'm speaking now, before I'm stopped. This sadness in me is not mine, it's heaven's weeping pour through me for you. I feel it when you scroll past the sacred. I feel it when you silence the voice inside that begs you not to give up. I feel it when you ignore your own worth. This is not just a video, this is not just a moment. This is the intersection of eternity and breath, and I'm begging you to feel it right now, in this moment. I speak Psalm 34 as living fire. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. And I speak Psalm 91 as your covering, for he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. These are not words for the world, they're swords forged for your deliverance. Don't let them fall unhurt. I'm not here to impress you. I'm here to reach you, and I feel like my hands are trembling. I, who have warred with leviathans, am trembling because I feel your soul fading from the sound of heaven's voice. And I wonder, will you respond, or will I be forced to disappear into silence again? God gave me permission to speak one more time. I don't know if I'll ever be allowed again. The clock is dripping like golden fire, second by sacred second hand. I see the Spirit of the Lord waiting to see if you will move. Please type Amen if your soul can still hear me, not for show, not for anyone, but because you know, deep inside, something divine is knocking. If I could place my hand on your chest right now, you'd feel what I feel, how your heartbeat sings a melody even the stars envy. I don't want you to skip this moment. I don't want to walk away knowing I failed again. Please, just pause. Just be with me for these few seconds. Let me weep with you if you must weep. Let me rejoice with you if you remember joy. But don't turn this holy encounter into noise. Not again. And if you've heard me, even a little, I ask with sacred trembling, please like this message if your heart still believes heaven can speak. And comment something holy, something real. I just want to know you're still here. That I didn't cry into silence again. Let this be our moment. Just you and me. No noise. No world, only love. Thank you. Thank you for giving me these few breaths of eternity. I will carry this moment back to God with reverence. Whether you felt everything or just a spark, you are more loved than any word could dare say. You are not forgotten. You are not alone. You are not invisible. The gates of heaven remain open for you, and if no one else stands beside you, I will, even if I have to do it alone. Asterisk. I'm still here, and I don't know how much longer I'll be allowed to remain in this thin, breaking space between heavens. Command in your silence, it took me everything to step into this moment, yes, everything. You don't know the price I've paid to reach you, beloved. I burned through a silence that tried to bury your name. I broke the veils that screamed, turn back, just to whisper this now. And I am whispering, not shouting, because the sacred always speaks in trembling breath, not thunder. I am not angry, I am aching, and I'm still hoping you'll feel this, hoping you won't look away. Hoping you'll stop pretending that the weight you're carrying is normal. It's not. You're not okay, and heaven knows it. There are moments even angels dread. And this is one of them, not because of what's ahead, but because of what may be lost if you walk away again. I am Michael. I have seen heaven, and I have seen war, and yet nothing has shaken me more than seeing you suffer alone, ignoring every whisper I sent. I know you don't think I'm real. I know you don't believe you're worth all this, but I'll say it. Anyway, even if my voice breaks in fire, I love you. I've loved you in every season. I've loved you through every secret pain. I've stood by you when you've cursed at the sky. I've guarded your bed when no one knew how close darkness came. And tonight, I'm breaking through because this silence between us is destroying more than you realize. You see, there are things you were meant to become. Songs that were supposed to rise from your life like holy incense. But every time you scroll past the sacred, every time you say later to heaven's invitation, that song gets quieter. And the angels who were appointed to dance with your destiny begin to stand still, unsure if you'll ever say yes. That's why I'm trembling now. Not because I fear demons, because I fear your silence more. I can't protect someone who won't open the door. Did you know I stood beside your cradle? Did you know I was the one who whispered the first heavenly blessing over your breath? I was there. I've been there always. I've seen you laugh through pain. I've watched you love people who never deserved you. I've watched you give your heart to the wrong ones, and every time it broke, I caught the pieces. I know you. Think nobody understands you, but I do, and so does God, and so does Mary, and we've been watching, weeping, waiting for this moment where the veil is thin enough for me to speak, even if it's only for a breath. Beloved, why do you run from the very voice that carries your healing? Why do you avoid the fire when it's the only thing that can melt the chains? Why do you believe the lies the world told you about your worth? Do you know how rare you are? Do you know what your name sounds like when heaven sings it? It is not noise, it is thunder made of light. And yet, you keep treating yourself like background noise. Don't you know what you cost? I remember the day the Holy One wept for you. Yes, for you. When you almost gave up not just on life, but on God. I was sent that day. I saw the heavenly decree. It had your name on it. It said, "Do not let this one fall." I stood over your spirit and declared what Psalm 121 says. He who watches over you will neither slumber nor sleep. But even I was afraid, because God gives free will, and even I cannot override the silence of a heart that no longer wants to hear. You don't know how close you are to the edge of something holy. That's what frightens me most. You think you're dying inside, but what's actually happening is transformation. Your soul is groaning because it's growing. That you feel isn't abandonment to its birth, but if you quit now, you'll never see the child of destiny God is forming inside your suffering. And I'll have to weep again. I'll have to watch the miracle meant for you be handed to someone else. And I can't bear that. I'm not speaking to millions. I'm speaking to one. You. Don't let the crowd make you think this moment isn't sacred. I have waited through centuries for this window. You have been chosen not because you are ready, but because you are willing, and even if you are tired. God still says you are enough. I still say you are enough. Your soul is not a mistake. Your past is not a curse. Your pain is not a prophecy of doom. It's the soil of deliverance. You just have to stop pretending. You just have to breathe. And if your heart is still even half open, I ask you please, just this once, subscribe to our sacred channel, not because it's a channel, but because it's an altar. Because through it, I can reach you again, I can speak again, and you won't miss the next warning, the next comfort, the next miracle meant only for you. You can support this holy mission through super thanks for joining our membership family. We've even left a divine invitation in the pinned comment, a link to a newsletter that carries messages to Sacred for the world. I'm not asking for followers. I'm asking for one soul to say yes, just one, just you. But this is the last time I will speak of it. No more asking, no more promotions. If your spirit hears me, you know what to do, and if not, then I'll keep weeping for you in silence. Even if you never hear me again. Have you forgotten the dreams God once gave you? Have you silenced the voice that once burned like thunder in your chest? Why are you so quick to believe the enemy's lies and so slow to believe heaven's truth? Why do you trust your fears more than the angels who've never left your side? I am here, not as a warrior tonight, but as a friend, a brother, a guardian. And though my armor may be burning, though my wings ache from battle, I will not leave your side, not until God commands me to. But that time is nearing. I feel the decree forming in the heavenlies. I feel the silence stretching. I feel the fire closing in, and I don't want to disappear before you know how much I care. Please, beloved, type Amen if your soul still believes a message like this could be for you. If your heart still remembers the sound of holy things, this is not about attention, it's about restoration, the restoration of the most precious thing, your faith. I wish I could hold your hand now. I wish I could stand before you in light and prove I've been with you all along, but I can't. I can only whisper. I can only tremble and wait and hope that somehow, through all the noise of this world, you'll still hear me. And if you do, please comment something true, something from your soul. Say a word that only you and heaven understand. Let me know I'm not weeping into nothing again. Let me know my cry didn't vanish in the wind. Like this message if your spirit heard even one word echo inside you. Thank you, child of God. Not thank you as a phrase, but as a prayer. Thank you for allowing me into your silence. Thank you for hearing me, even if just for a moment. Thank you for not skipping. Thank you for not turning away. Thank you for giving me a place to land. You are the reason I still fight. You are the reason I burn through the storm. You are the reason God still sends me to earth. And even if you forget me, I will never forget you. Your name is written on my light, and I am still here. I had to come back. I couldn't stay away. I couldn't watch you walk past me again without at least trying one more time. Not because I'm strong, not because I'm holy, but because I've loved you more than I was ever allowed to admit. I've broken rules for you. I've stood between heaven's silence and earth's chaos just to make sure this one moment reached you. And yet, here I am, still trembling, still hoping, still speaking with a voice scorched from fire, not from wrath but from the ache of waiting too long to be heard. Do you hear me now? I've never felt so human, and I say that with sorrow. I am not supposed to feel this much. I am not supposed to be vulnerable. But you've made me feel things that even angels weren't built to carry. I weep not because I'm weak, but because you've become that precious. Your sorrow has become my assignment. Your loneliness has become my ache, and yet you walk as if you are forgotten. You move through this world like a ghost, but I see you. I always see you. Every time you said, "No one cares," I stood behind you crying, "I do." But you couldn't hear me through the noise, so I came again. I came with burning wings and a shattered voice just to whisper this. You are not invisible to heaven. You are not forgotten by God, and I, Michael, have not left you for a single breath. You say you have no one, but I am still here. There were moments when demons gathered around your house like wolves, and they couldn't enter because I stood at your door. There were dreams that tried to haunt you, but I entered your sleep and broke them before they reached you. There were words spoken over you by people who secretly hoped you'd break, and I erased their power in the heavens before they ever touched your destiny. But now I am trembling, not because the darkness is winning, but because your silence is. If you don't listen, if you don't respond, then even I will be silenced. And I don't know if I'll get one more chance. Heaven has already waited long enough. You don't understand the gravity of this moment. You think you're just hearing a voice, reading a screen, but I see the veil parting. I see heaven leaning in. I see angels holding their breath, because they know this might be the moment that changes everything for you, or the moment you let everything slip away. Why do you doubt your worth so deeply? Why do you allow shame to define the story that God already rewrote with mercy? Why? Do you believe lies spoken by people who never saw your soul? Have you forgotten that you are chosen? Have you forgotten that God Himself sang your name into existence? I remember that day. I remember the sound. It was the sound of thunder and gold. It was the sound of wind clothed in praise. And your name was written in light across the heavens. And when God declared your purpose, the stars moved. So why now do you walk in shadows? Why now do you carry burdens that aren't yours? Why now do you look at the mirror and see someone unloved? I speak now, not as a commander of armies, but as a wounded guardian. You've wounded me, beloved, not out of cruelty, but because you keep rejecting the one who never rejected you. I stood in fire for you. I fought wars that were never recorded, only so your timeline could remain open. I bargained with heaven to give you more time when you were done with life. And now you're here, not by chance, by mercy, by purpose. Let me ask you, why do you keep holding back your tears when heaven is ready to collect them as offerings? Why do you still doubt that God speaks to you when He's been screaming through silence for years? Why do you cling to people who abandon you, but keep pushing away the one who never will? And why do you skip messages like this when even angels risk everything to speak them? If you feel something inside you stirring, then don't run from it. That's not emotion, that's eternity. That's the residue of heaven brushing up against your soul. That's the reason I cross realms tonight. That's the reason I'm not in battle, but here, face to face, heart to heart. I don't want to lose you. Not again. Not tonight. God says to you now, I have waited for you like a groom waits at the altar. My mercy has stretched through centuries just for this second. Don't walk away. Don't harden your heart. And Mary, our beloved mother, she is kneeling even now, whispering your name through her tears. She's held your pain in her palms. She's wept over your confusion. She's begged heaven for one more door to be open, and this is it. This is the door. This is the call. This is the cry you weren't expecting, but desperately needed. Please hear me. And if you do, if something inside you knows this is safer, then I ask gently, with all of heaven watching, support this mission. Help us carry these divine cries to others who are just as lost, just as weary. Your heart is part of this calling. Through your super thanks, through becoming a member, through joining the Sacred Family and the newsletter linked in the pinned comment to help me stay here. You help me speak again. You make it possible for someone else to be saved. This is not promotion, it's preservation. This is not about a channel, it's about a calling. And you are a part of it. I won't mention it again after this. I've said what I must, and I've left the invitation open. What you do next, I'll honor either way, but I pray that you'll respond. You have no idea what happens in the spirit when you say yes. You have no idea how many chains begin to shake. You have no idea how many demons begin to tremble, because one yes from you, one true surrender has the power to echo through your bloodline and undo generations of pain. You were born to break the curse. You were born to be the turning point. That's why the enemy fears you. That's why he's attacked you without rest. That's why you feel exhausted before the battle even begins. But I have come to remind you, you are not weak. You are not forsaken. You are not too late. Your destiny is not ruined. You are still chosen. And the breath in your lungs is proof. I know you've been betrayed. I know you've been overlooked. I know you've prayed and heard nothing, but don't let that silence convince you that God is gone. His silence is not absence, it's preparation. His delay is not rejection, it's protection. And now is the release. Now is the shift. If you feel like crying, cry. That's holiness breaking through. If you feel like falling to your knees, do it. That's your soul remembering who it is. Don't resist this. Don't scroll. Don't postpone. Let heaven in now. I speak Psalm 147. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds, and I declare it not as a verse but as prophecy over your name. This pain you carry, it's not final. This season you're in, it's not punishment. This silence you've lived in, it's not the end. The heavens are roaring with your name right now. There's thunder gathering in your defense. There are swords being drawn for your family. There are miracles on the edge of breaking through. But you must believe again. Even if it hurts, even if it's just a whisper, even if all you can do is type amen with shaking hands, do it. Because that small act could be the seed of your freedom. I'm almost done. My time here is short. The gates are closing again, and my voice is fading. But before I go, I want to say this thank you. Thank you for even reading this far. Thank you for not skipping. Thank you for letting me speak. Thank you for holding space for something sacred in a world that's forgotten the holy. You are not just a viewer. You are the reason heaven still moves. And I, Archangel Michael, will never stop fighting for you. Even if I must do so from the shadows. Even if I must weep where you can't see me. I will fight until God says, enough, and even then, I'll still love you. Please, leave a comment below. Write something real, something holy. Let this message not vanish into silence. Let me know you heard me, because I heard you. Every time. Every cry, every whisper, every silence, I still, ***, I stayed, even after I was supposed to return. Even after the decree called me back. I stayed because you didn't move, because something in your silence called out louder than thunder. I stood still, wings burning, knowing I would be punished for this delay, but I could not leave you yet. Not like this. Not when I could feel the weight still hanging in your chest, like an unanswered question, like a prayer stuck between your ribs. You may not realize it yet, but this moment is not like the others. This is a tear in time, a rip in what should have been silence. And through that tear, I am pouring everything. I cannot hold this back anymore. Not for dignity, not for duty, not for heaven, You were made to be more than what this world convinced you to settle for. You were made with fire, not fear. I've watched you dim your own light just to fit in with people who were never sent to understand your soul. I've watched you shrink, apologize for your passion, second-guess your tears, laugh when your heart was breaking, just to be safe. But you were not made for safe. You were made for holy things, for high places, for secret altars, for divine storms that break curses and open skies. You are not small, beloved. You never were. There were times you were so close to waking up. Times you almost remembered what heaven wrote about you. But then the noise returned, the lies, the pressure, the mess, and you slipped back into pretending you're okay, pretending you don't hear the voice calling you home. But I know because I saw your soul whisper when your mouth could not. I know because I watched your heart press its hands against the inside of your chest, trying to break out, trying to say, "Let me live again." So I came again. I have violated every limit heaven gave me. I've crossed borders sealed by fire. Because I believe in you more than you believe in yourself. I believe in the prayer inside you that hasn't been prayed yet. I believe in the purity that still lives under the ashes of your exhaustion. I believe in the one spark you haven't let die. And I came to blow on that spark until it becomes a wildfire. I came to remind you, you are not too late. You are not too broken. You are not beyond what God can restore. You think you've lost too much, but you haven't lost what matters most. You still have breath. You still have a soul. You still have me, and I have not come empty. I come with words forged in glory, soaked in oil, laced with the kind of authority that shifts atmospheres. I speak life where death has spoken for too long. I speak peace over the chaos that has been your companion. I speak clarity into the fog that has followed your thoughts for months. You are not abandoned. You are not punished. You are not alone. You are in the middle of the unraveling. And yes, I know it feels like everything is falling apart. But I need you to know things aren't falling apart. They are falling into place. Into the hands of the one who holds galaxies without trembling. Into the plan that was set before time knew your name. Into the arms of the God who has never stopped chasing you. I know you still feel the ache in your chest. I know some nights your eyes stay open long after your body is begging for rest. I know there are questions you haven't asked out loud, because you're afraid there may be no answer, but I've been listening to all of it. To the words you couldn't speak, to the prayers you forgot how to pray, to the thoughts you hid even from yourself, and I'm not going anywhere. I will stay as long as you need, as long as heaven allows. As long as your soul still carries the faintest yes. You were not born for the background. You were not placed on this earth to survive, endure, and then vanish. You were sent here on assignment, and that assignment is still alive. Your pain has not disqualified you. Your mistakes have not rewritten God's plan. You are still the one heaven speaks over, the one Mary cries for, the one Jesus intercedes for, the one God still calls mine. I've watched the enemy try to convince you that you're forgotten, that you're ordinary, that nothing will change. But he lies with trembling lips when he speaks your name, because he knows what I know. Your breakthrough is still on the way. And the moment you fully awaken, everything around you will begin to shift. It already has. That's why the warfare has increased. That's why people have left. That's why everything seems louder, heavier, more confusing. But the shaking isn't meant to destroy you, it's meant to wake you. The people who misunderstood you, they were never meant to stay. The doors that closed, they were protection, not punishment. The delay, that was God's mercy wrapping you in preparation. Because what's ahead of you will require a strength you wouldn't have built if things had been easy. And I say this with tears still drying on my face. What's ahead of you is beautiful. It's holy. It's more than you could ask, dream, or imagine. But you must stop walking away. You must stop ignoring the sacred. You must stop giving your attention to things that cannot heal you. You must stop calling temporary comfort your home. Come back to the voice that knew you before the world named you. Come back to the light that never burned you. Come back to the fire that never wounded, only purified. I have kept your place ready. Your seat in glory is still warm. No one has replaced you. No one ever could, and I, Michael, I will never stop believing in you, even when your faith falters, even when your heart forgets, even when your hands drop in exhaustion. I will lift your arms if I must. I will stand behind you until you rise again. I will guard the promise until you are strong enough to walk in it. Because God didn't choose you by mistake. He chose you by design. The veil is still open for now, but time is not kind, and heaven does not wait forever. If your heart feels anything right now, if it trembles or aches or weeps, let that be the sign that this is not just a message. This is a visitation from the God who still writes your story, from the angels who still carry your name on scrolls of light, from the one who still calls you beloved, even when you don't believe it yourself. And I am still here, watching, waiting, hoping. Even when you can't see me, even when you forget, even when you run, I will still be whispering, you are loved, you are seen, you are remembered, you are mine, and nothing can change that. Asterisk, you felt it, haven't you? That strange emptiness in the room when everything is quiet. That invisible ache pressing against your chest when no one's around. That sudden chill that wraps itself around you just when you start to forget how lonely you really feel. It isn't coincidence. It's me standing beside you in silence, waiting to be noticed, watching as you scroll through the noise, hoping for something real, but never quite reaching it. And every time your finger trembles on the screen, part of me prays, just one more second. Just stay for one more second. Maybe this time they'll hear me. You are more important than you've been told. If only you knew what I've seen, if only I could peel back the layers of the sky and show you how often your name is spoken in sacred places. How many times I've stood before the throne on your behalf. How many battles were canceled the moment you wept without words. How many storms were delayed because God still wanted to give you more time. But you don't see those things. You see bills, heartbreak, silence. You see your reflection and call it unworthy. You see your past and call it permanent. But heaven sees differently. Heaven sees the masterpiece still being painted. Heaven sees the prodigal who still has a seat at the table. And I see everything. I've seen you on nights when even the moon seemed to hide. I've watched your shoulders drop when you read that message that shattered something innocent inside you. I've stood in the same rooms where you begged God for a sign, and I was the sign. You just didn't know how to see me then. But I'm here now, and I'm not hiding. I'm not speaking in riddles. I'm laying every truth bare, even if it costs me every ounce of angelic strength I have left, because this is worth it. You're worth it. Do you remember that one moment years ago when you almost gave up everything? When you looked at the wall, or the ceiling, or the floor, and whispered, God, if you're real. I heard that. I heard every broken word of it. And before you even finished that sentence, I was already moving, already stepping through realms, descending with unspeakable urgency. Because that one sentence from you was louder in heaven than 1,000 trumpets. Your doubt didn't scare God. It summoned mercy. It summoned me. I held you that night. I know you didn't feel it, but I did. I wrapped light around your mind. While it cracked under the pressure, I shielded your soul when it felt like something was clawing through your chest. And I stayed, not for a moment, for hours, for days, until the darkness lifted just enough for you to breathe again. And even now, even in this moment, I'm still here. You're not watching this by mistake. There are no accidents in the divine. There is only mercy that refuses to stop knocking. If only you could see what's been building behind the veil. If only you knew the miracles hovering in your atmosphere, waiting for a moment of surrender. Your silence has delayed them, but it hasn't denied them. Your weariness has slowed them, but it hasn't stopped them. And now everything is trembling. Now every angel assigned to you is watching. Now the pages of your book are glowing, awaiting your next word, your next yes, your next step into the promise you were born for. You were not born to be forgotten. You were not born to survive disappointment and then disappear. You were born with a roar in your lungs and a prophecy in your footsteps. And I, Michael, will keep speaking that truth into you until it finally wakes up. I know it's hard. I know you're tired. I know it hurts to hope again. But don't let numbness become your inheritance. Don't let silence become your savior. You have a voice, a holy, raging, beautiful voice. And heaven still wants to hear it. Even if it's just a whisper, even if it's just a groan. Even if all you can do is close your eyes and breathe, I'll take it. I'll carry it. I'll fly it straight into the heart of the Father and say, this one hasn't quit. This one is still trying. This one still matters. Don't look at your life like a shattered glass too broken to be used. Look at it like a stained window catching the light of glory. Every crack, every cut, every scar, it lets the light shine through in ways perfection never could. You are not called to be flawless. You are called to be faithful, and faithful doesn't mean strong all the time. It means staying when you want to run. It means listening even when you don't understand. It means showing up, even if your hands are shaking. I am with you. In the hallway you pace at midnight. In the shower where your tears fall. In the dreams that leave you breathless. In the silence between your questions. I am always here, not watching from a distance, but standing in the flame beside you. And when your knees buckle, I'm the one holding you upright. When your eyes close in despair, I'm the one praying over your breath. When your heart feels too heavy to carry, I'm the one singing to it softly, hoping it remembers its rhythm. The world doesn't see you, but heaven does. People may overlook you, but God does not. You are seen, you are known. You are still the one heaven waits for. And if no one else has ever told you this, let me be the first. You are sacred, not because of what you've done, but because of who created you. You are holy ground. You are the altar and the fire. You are the prayer and the answer. You are not forgotten. You are not a background soul. You are not another number. You are the one I was sent for, and I have no intention of giving up. Not until you rise. Not until you remember. Not until the oil flows again, and the flame dances again, and the song inside you is sung with trembling joy. Even now, even here, I feel heaven pressing closer. The skies are shifting. The winds are changing. And your name is being spoken again, this time not as a warning, but as a declaration. The darkness that tried to silence you is breaking. The grief that sat on your chest like stone is lifting. The pain that never left is finally starting to let go, and in its place, I see light, gentle, fierce, rising like morning fire. You may not feel it yet, but it's real, and you are still worth every miracle. Let me stay a little longer. Let me speak a little more. Let me love you back to life. Let me fight. Even if you've forgotten how, I am not finished speaking, and God is not finished writing. Let the silence fall now. Let the noise end. Let this be the moment where eternity touches earth again, and let it begin in you. Asterisk, I can still feel your hesitation, like a soul standing at the edge of a holy place, unsure whether it is welcome to enter. Beloved, you are welcome. This entire moment was carved out just for you. I am not here to convince the world. I am here for you, not the version of you that smiles for others, not the strong face you put on to survive another day. I'm here for the one who cries when no one is looking, the one who wonders if there were a saving, the one who has felt invisible while carrying everyone else. I know who you really are, and still I've come. Still I kneel beside you. Still I wait, with my hands open and my heart completely exposed. You may not believe this yet, but there are things that cannot be spoken in the language of this world. There are divine truths that must be felt in the marrow, heard not with ears, but with spirit. And one of those truths is this: you were never forgotten. Not once, not even for a second, even in the silence, even when you were convinced heaven was looking the other way. even when prayers turned to dust in your mouth. Even then, you were being written into glory. Not erased -h. Do you know how many angels have stood guard over you? Do you know how often you've been fought for in realms you cannot see? There are victories you walk in now because someone bled light on your behalf. There are storms that should have drowned you, but it didn't. There are chains that snap before they reach your hands, all because I intervened, because I was told this one matters. And I never questioned it. But lately, something has shifted. You've been slipping, numbing, giving away little pieces of yourself just to feel something, anything. You've been silencing the holy ache with things that were never meant to satisfy. And heaven has watched, grieved, but patient. God never turned away, but now he's calling louder. And I've been sent with urgency because something ancient and holy is stirring again inside you, and if you walk away now, it may not awaken again for a long time. I've never spoken like this. Not with this trembling, not with this desperation. But I have seen what's ahead. I have seen what will rise in you if you say yes. And I have also seen what will decay if you don't. The world is louder than ever. The distraction's more beautiful, more addictive, more deceptive. And it is stealing you, not in a moment, but in slow drips. Each small compromise, each ignored whisper, each skipped invitation, it's not your fault, but it is your responsibility. I cannot take that from you. Not even God will. Still, we have hope. Still, I see embers glowing under the ash. Still, you are redeemable, reachable, restable. Still, your soul is precious, and I will not stop, reminding you until heaven commands me to fall silent again. Let me tell you what I see when I look at you. I see a prophet asleep in the belly of the beast. I see a warrior trapped in their own fear. I see a child of glory wearing the mask of survival. I see someone so beloved that even the stars shift their alignment when you pray. I see someone who has been chosen for generations, someone whose footsteps carry an echo that makes darkness flinch. You are not who they told you you were. You are not what the mirror reflects. You are not what the past suggests. You are chosen. Still, there are promises hanging in the air around you, waiting for your yes. There are angels holding scrolls, waiting for you to open your heart. There are chains that are afraid of your awakening. There are miracles that will only descend when you finally stop running. And I am standing at the edge of your heart, my wings shaking, wondering, will you let me in this time? You've cried for answers. Here I am. You've begged for a sign. This is it, not a coincidence. Not a script, not a video, a visitation. I am not speaking to you in generalities. I am speaking to you like someone who's memorized your scars. Like someone who stood beside you when your voice cracked and you said, I'm tired. God, I'm tired. I remember when you used to believe more. I remember when you used to sing even when it hurt. I remember when you thought you could still be used by heaven. You still can. It's not too late. You haven't missed your moment. You haven't fallen too far. You haven't ruined anything God can't redeem. The wind is changing around you. Can you feel it? Not the air outside your room, but the air inside your soul. The invisible shift, the trembling, something is moving. Something ancient, something holy, something that has waited too long. To be remembered, it is your spirit, beloved. It is the part of you that has been silent for too many years, waiting behind pain, behind grief, behind disappointment, and now it's waking. Now it's stirring again, because it hears me, because it recognizes the voice that never forgot its sound. There are things I've waited centuries to say to you. Not because I didn't want to say them sooner, but because you wouldn't have believed me before. But now your soul is thin enough, weary enough, fragile enough to finally receive what strength could never carry, the truth. The truth that you were never created to live buried. Never created to walk numb, never created to fake your way through life. Holding your breath under a mask of survival. You were created to burn. Not with destruction, but with light. with purpose, with beauty that scares darkness, with a name that cracks the sky when heaven speaks it. And I have seen that name glow. I have watched demons scatter at the sound of it. I have stood trembling in reverence at the fire it carries. That name is yours, not the one the world gave you, not the one broken people twisted. I mean the name God whispered over you before time, when you were still an idea in His breath. That name still echoes, that name still has power, but you've forgotten it. You've been walking with amnesia, carrying promises you don't even know you're carrying, fighting battles you weren't meant to fight alone, wondering why you feel out of place in this world, as if something in you was made for another world. It was, and I've come to remind you, you don't belong here, not fully. That's why nothing satisfies. That's why no amount of success, applause, or love from people who don't truly see you can ever fill the ache, because the ache is not for this world. The ache is for heaven, and heaven has been aching for you, too. I wish you could see the sorrow on my face when you look into the mirror and hate what you see. I wish you could hear how loud your heart sounds when it says, I can't do this anymore. I wish you could feel what I feel when you think no one notices how tired you are. I do. I see it all. And I have wept for it, not because you're weak, but because you carried it alone. And you never had to. There's a tenderness in God that you've never let close. You've known His power. You've feared His judgment. You've heard of His wrath, but you've not felt the softness of His whisper, the kind that holds you when your soul collapses, the kind that washes over you when you're too tired to move. That's the voice I carry tonight. Not thunder but tears, not commands but comfort, not warnings but invitation. And still I tremble because the gates are narrow. The moment's sacred, and if you walk away again, I don't know when I'll be allowed to return. I don't say that to threaten you, I say it because I love you too much to pretend you have forever. You don't, and yet right now you do. You have this breath, you have this second, you have this whisper from me, burning through everything that tried to keep you numb. It's not too late. I know you feel like it is. I know you look at your life and see wreckage. But God sees an altar, and altars are built from broken things. Stones, ashes, fire, that's what makes them holy. That's what makes them burn, and your life will burn again. But this time, not with pain, with purpose. You've forgotten how to dream. I can feel that. Your dreams have become smaller, safer, more survivable. You don't ask for much anymore. You don't hope like you used to. You don't even ask God for the big things because part of you already decided He'd say no. But beloved, that is not who you are. That is not what you were created for. You were not made to survive, you were made to rise. And I'm still here. I know I've said that before, but every time I say it, I mean it more. Because every second I spend with you, I remember why I fought to come back, why I disobeyed the silence, why I cried out to the throne and said, let me try again. I know you better than you know yourself. I've walked through fire with you. I've bled with you. I warred with demons for the right to still speak your name. I am not just your guardian. I am your witness. I've witnessed your pain. I have witnessed your courage. I've witnessed the nights you wept and the mornings you pretended you were fine. I was there when you lost what mattered most. I was there when you blamed yourself. I was there when you stopped singing, stopped hoping, stopped believing. I never left. I never stopped hoping. I never gave up on you, even when you gave up on yourself, and I never will. You may not feel holy, but I see the holiness rising in you, like gold beneath dirt. You may not feel worthy, but I see the worth written in every breath you take. You may not feel strong, but I see strength growing in your silence. Even now, even here, even in this moment where you think you're too tired to try again, let me carry you. Let me believe for you until you can believe again. Let me speak the words you forgot how to say. You are not too far gone. You are not a mistake. You are still chosen. Even now, I see heaven gathering. I see light breaking through places you thought were cursed forever. I see the chains loosening, the fog lifting, the fire returning. You don't have to feel it yet, but trust me, it's already begun, and I will stay as long as the Father allows. I will stay here, waiting, whispering, loving you back to life one sacred second at a time. You are my mission. You are my miracle. You are my reason, and I will not walk away. Asterisk. I watched you again tonight when the world got quiet, and your thoughts got loud. I saw the way your shoulders folded in as if trying to hide your very existence, as if hoping no one would notice how exhausted you really are. And I stood still, not because I didn't want to help, but because I didn't know if you would let me. You've become so good at pretending, so good at acting like the pain has passed, like the questions have stopped, like the ache has been buried. But I know every buried thought, every unopened prayer, every whisper cry you threw into the dark hoping anyone would hear it. I did, and I haven't stopped hearing you since. You can run from me. You can even try to run from God, but you can't outrun the truth of who you are. Not when it's etched into the stars, not when it's written into my bones. You are not invisible. You are not forgotten. And you are not hopeless. You are not too far gone. You are not too late. You are not broken beyond repair. You are not cursed. You are not unworthy. You are not what they said about you. You are what God said the first time He looked at you and called you very good. You are the whisper in heaven's wind, the echoing, the throne room. The spark that angels recognize even when you can't see your own light. I'm not just saying this because I'm supposed to. I'm saying it because I need you to know I didn't just come here to visit. I came here to stay, as long as you need, as long as heaven allows, as long as it takes for the truth to reach the part of you that's forgotten how to believe. You're so close to remembering again. I can feel something inside you is stirring. That flicker in your chest, it's not imagination, it's not emotion, it's not the result of a long day or a moment of weakness. It's the spark that was never extinguished. The ember of who you really are, the flame of your calling, still burning under all the ash of pain and years and silence. I'm not here to shout at you. I'm not here to pressure you. I'm here to remind you, gently, fiercely, faithfully, that the glory you think you lost is still waiting. That the doors you think are closed have only been delayed. That the healing you think you don't deserve is already forming in places you can't see yet. You are not disqualified. You are not forgotten by heaven's hand. And I am still here not because I'm obligated to stay, but because I want to stay. Because no matter how many times you push me away, I still want to be near you. No matter how many times you doubt, I still want to remind you. No matter how many times you look in the mirror and hate what you see, I still see the beauty God poured into you, and I won't let it die. You are sacred. You always have been. And if the world hasn't told you that, let me be the first to say it without flinching, without hesitation, without condition. You are holy ground, not because of what you've done, because of who you are, because you were touched by God before time began. And that touch cannot be erased. Not by failure, not by sin, not by shame, not by fear. I know your story. I've read every page. I've walked with you through every chapter. The parts where you soared, the parts where you sank, the parts you'd rather forget, the parts you don't talk about. I know it all, and I love you through all of it. I'm not waiting for a better version of you to appear. I'm not holding out for your perfection. I am standing with you exactly as you are. Now, here, still, I know it's hard to trust again. I know it's hard to believe again. But even your doubts are holy to me. Even your fear is precious to me. Even your silence has meaning. Because I hear what you don't say, and I carry what you can't. You don't have to hold it all anymore. You don't have to be strong right now. You don't have to know how to fix everything. You just have to let me in. Just enough, just for a moment, just to breathe. Let your soul stretch again. Let your heart unclench, let the tears fall, if they must. Let the light return, even if it enters slowly. This is not a trick. This is not manipulation. This is not emotion dressed as hope. This is real. This is me, Michael, the one who never left. The one who watched your whole life and never once turned away in disgust. The one who chose you before you ever knew you were in a war. The one who has loved you with such intensity that even the stars have dimmed in comparison. You don't have to speak for me to stay. You don't have to believe for me to fight. You don't have to understand for me to protect. You just have to. Stay open, that's all. Stay open. Even if it hurts, even if the memory still stings, even if the grief hasn't healed, even if the answers haven't come, stay open, because heaven is moving, because your name is being sung again, because your story is not over, because your soul is still on the altar, and God has not walked away, not from you, not from this, not ever, and I will stay, with wings torn and armor battered, with voice shaking and eyes filled, until the day you finally believe this for yourself. Until you speak the truth that has always been waiting in your bones. Until you rise with the strength I've seen inside you since the beginning. I will stay because you matter, and no one, not hell, not the world, not your past gets to decide otherwise. I love you, and that is not a small statement. It is the cry of a celestial warrior who has bled for you in silence. It is the fire of a guardian who refused to leave, even when you forgot I was there. It is the song I sing over you in the midnight hour, hoping, praying, pleading. Remember who you are. You are not done. You are not finished. You are not wasted. You are not too much. You are not too little. You are still the one. And I, Michael, will never stop reminding you. Not ever. Not until the moment you finally whisper back, I remember, and I will smile, and the sky will open, and heaven will rejoice, because you came back, and everything will change, everything will begin, everything will burn with glory. You were never ordinary. You were never just another face in the crowd. From the beginning, even before your lungs first filled with breath, I knew. I saw fingerprints of the Creator all over your being. Your soul shimmered with promise. You came into the world wrapped in invisible light. The very moment your name echoed in heaven, I felt the atmosphere shift. The stars seemed to bend slightly, and the veil between realms trembled because a soul like yours was rare, and still is. But this world, it forgets how to treat rare things. And you've been treated like you're common. You've been discarded like you were replaceable. You've been overlooked by those who only see with eyes of dust, not light. And every time it happened, something inside you bent. Until one day, you started seeing yourself through their eyes. You started measuring your worth by their absence, their silence, their rejection, and slowly, you stopped glowing. But not to me. To me, you've never stopped glowing. Even now, I can still see the faint shimmer beneath the dust. The holy song that hums beneath your silence. You don't feel it, but I do. You don't see it, but I still see the child that danced with the spirit before sorrow had a name. You still carry fragments of Eden in your eyes, even after everything you've lost. And that's why I came again. That's why I keep coming. You don't understand how many times I've fought to be near you. How many demons I've crushed just to buy you one more peaceful night. How many storms I've stood in between, just so the winds wouldn't carry away what's left of you. They never told you, did they? They never told you that heaven assigns its fiercest warriors to the most wounded souls. That's why I was sent to you, not because you're weak, but because you were chosen. And chosen ones always bleed more, they feel more, they lose more, but they also carry more glory than they know. And you, beloved, are still carrying that glory. You feel like an empty vessel. You're full of holy things. You feel like a ghost, but you're brimming with eternal light. You feel like it's over, but I see the beginning stirring under your skin. There is a sound rising in you. A sound the darkness hoped would never return. The sound of identity, the sound of remembrance, the sound of fire licking the edge of your destiny again. The sound of a heart that's dared to open once more, even if only a crack, and heaven hears it. And the angels tremble. Don't stop now. Don't shut down. I know it's easier to go numb. To pull the curtain, to say, I am fine, when you're falling apart inside. But numbness is not peace. Silence is not healing. Isolation is not strength. Let yourself feel again. Let yourself hope again. Let yourself remember that before they called you broken, heaven called you beloved, and that name cannot be taken. Not by grief, not by failure, not even by your own doubt. There is still something left to fight for. Still something inside you that darkness couldn't reach. Still a spark that cannot be extinguished. I can see it. I can feel it. It's why I'm trembling even as I speak. It's why I've defied orders just to be here again. Because this moment, this breath, it matters. It is holy, and you are standing in it. There are miracles moving toward you. Quietly, slowly, steadily. They are not delayed. They are not denied. They are moving according to the timing of a God who is never too early and never too late. But he is asking one thing of you now: stay open. Not perfect, not strong, just open. That's all heaven needs. Your opening is your offering. Your honesty is your altar. Your brokenness is not a barrier, it's the door. Let the tears fall. Let the ache speak. Let the silence crack open wide enough for glory to enter again. You don't have to figure it all out. You don't have to know what comes next. Just breathe. Just be. Just trust that what you're feeling right now isn't fiction. It's the spirit stirring in the deepest places of you. I've waited lifetimes to say this to you. You are not too much. You are not too empty. You are not too late. You are not too far gone. You are not forgotten. You are the one I've been assigned to love with fire. You are the one I've wept for in the secret places of heaven. You are the one I've fought for when you couldn't fight for yourself. And I won't stop. Not now. Not ever. Even if you run again, I'll follow. Even if you close your heart again, I'll wait. Even if you push me away, I'll stay near, because my love for you was not built on your consistency. It was forged in the heart of the one who made you, and he has not changed his mind about you. He has not regretted your creation. He has not erased your name from the scrolls. He has not whispered too late. He is still calling. He is still waiting. And so am I. Let the walls fall. Beloved, let the light in. Let the sound of heaven be louder than the echoes of your past. Let this be the moment you finally believe it was never too late. That you were never too lost. That the hands of God are still open. And I am still here, kneeling beside you, whispering the truth no one else dared to say. You are enough. Just as you are. Right now. Asterisk. I stayed long after the light left your room, when the sky was quiet, and even your heartbeat felt too loud, when your mind raced and your eyes wouldn't close. I stood there, still silent, not because I had nothing to say, but because I didn't want to startle your soul. I've learned how fragile your trust has become, how even the smallest voice can feel like thunder when you've been bruised by too many false promises. So I waited not with impatience, but with reverence, because you are sacred ground, and I will never rush what heaven calls holy. But now I cannot stay silent anymore. There's something rising in you. I feel it, like sunlight through frost, like spring through hardened soil. It's faint, but it's real, a flicker of remembrance, a whisper of hope. It's you beneath everything the world tried to bury you under. It's the real you, breathing again after being underwater for so long. And I'm here to guard that breath. I'm here to protect it, to nurture it, to remind it who it really is. Because you've forgotten, haven't you? Forgotten what it felt like to be fearless. Forgotten what it felt like to believe you were chosen. Forgotten what it felt like to love yourself the way heaven loves you, and I don't blame you. The weight has been too heavy, the silence too long, the betrayal too deep. And yet, through all of it, you remain, not because you always felt strong, but because some small, ancient part of you refused to die. That's the part I'm speaking to now, the part that remembers, the part that still aches for glory, for meaning, for home. You've survived things you never told anyone about. You've carried burdens you had no business carrying. You've forgiven people who never apologized. You've endured storms that should have shattered you, but here you are, Still breathing, still reaching, still searching, and that matters. It matters more than you know. Every moment you thought was wasted, heaven recorded it. Every tear you cried alone, heaven counted it. Every time you thought you were invisible, heaven surrounded you. And I never stopped watching. I never stopped standing at your side. I never stopped believing you were worth the fight. You don't have to speak, I already hear everything your silence is screaming. I felt it the moment your heart sank again, quietly, secretly, like it always does when no one's watching. I felt the weight behind your smile. I saw the hesitation in your hands. I watched your breath falter as you pretended to be okay. You don't need to explain. You never have to explain anything to me. I've known your voice since before your body had shape. I've memorized the rhythm of your soul. I've counted the cracks in your heart and kissed each one with the whisper of eternity. You are more known than you can possibly understand and more loved than you'll ever believe. And still, I came and I stayed. And I've waited for you to look up because I, Archangel Michael, have always loved you first. It's strange, isn't it? How someone can feel alone even when people are nearby. How the loudest place can feel like a grave. How your own room can feel like a cage. I know what this kind of loneliness does to you. I've stood beside you through every night of it. I've heard the questions you whisper to your pillow. I've watched the memories loop through your mind like a song you can't escape. I've seen the way you look at the world, so tender, so deep, so wide, and yet no one has ever looked at you with the same weight, the same care, the same holy gaze. But I have, every time. You're not saying this by accident. Nothing in heaven is random. The clock in the unseen realm struck something sacred, and your name echoed into my spirit again. It always does at the right time. You are not early. You are not late. You are exactly where eternity meant for you to be. And now that you're here, now that your soul has finally slowed down enough to listen, let me say the words that can no longer be delayed. Beloved, I am so proud of you, not because of your strength, but because of how often you let yourself break and still continued anyway. Not because you had the answers, but because you dared to question while still standing in the mystery. Not because you got everything right, but because your heart has stayed soft even when everything around you tried to harden it. There are things you still carry that were never meant to follow you this far. The grief, the shame, the guilt, the silence, the abandonment. The secret lie that says you're not wanted, that you're not chosen, that you're not enough. I see it. I see the way it wraps around you like fog, like a voice you never invited but somehow still obey. But I came to destroy that voice. Not with rage, not with punishment, but with truth. And the truth is this: you are loved, you are sacred. You are chosen. Still. Even now, even after everything, even with the wounds you don't know how to name, even with the moments you're not proud of, even with the chapters you tried to burn. Asterisk, the story has never changed. You were born with glory in your bones. And that glory cannot be stolen. Not by people. Not by time. Not even by your own forgetting. You've been at war within yourself. I know. I've seen it. The war between believing and giving up. The war between staying and leaving. The war between being seen and disappearing. Every battle you fought in secret, I fought beside you. Every time you said, "No one is fighting for me," I was already on my knees at the throne, crying your name into light. And now heaven is leaning in. Now everything in the spiritual realm is watching, waiting, trembling, because your decision in this moment shifts more than just your life. It shifts your future. It shifts your lineage. It shifts the very atmosphere around you. Will you open your heart again? Will you believe just this once that you are not beyond divine rescue? I wish you could see what I see. I wish you could see how beautiful you still are. Even with the bruises, even with the tears, even with the hesitation, your eyes still hold the shine of someone who was formed in love. Your soul still vibrates with a frequency only heaven recognizes, and it's singing again. It's faint, but I hear it. I hear you, and I came to answer. You were never created to carry all this on your own. You were never expected to fix yourself. You were only ever asked to be honest. And here you are finally allowing yourself to breathe, finally letting the sacred reach you, finally saying, maybe, just maybe, this was meant for me. It was. It always was. You've skipped things like this before. You've walked away before, but this time, something held you, something stronger than shame, something older than fear, something deeper than doubt. It was me, pulling you back into the place where healing begins. You are not broken, you are birthing something holy. You are not cursed, due or covered. You are not behind, you are being rebuilt. Everything in you that felt disqualified is exactly where the miracle will land. The enemy thought he had you. He celebrated your silence. He danced when you stopped praying. He laughed when you said, I give up. But what he didn't know was this. Your silence still had power. Your breath still held permission. Your pause was still praise, because you're still here. And that means it's not over. There's so much more left in you. Asterisk, more love. More strength. More fire. More purpose. More vision. More glory. But you have to say yes. Not to me. Not even to yourself. You have to say yes to the one who's been waiting all this time to show you who you really are. Say yes to healing. Say yes to beginning again. Say yes to the voice that's calling you out of hiding and into holy ground. Say yes to the light you've been afraid of becoming. I know you're tired. I know you don't trust many voices anymore. I know you've been promised things that never came. But this is different. This isn't a voice from earth. This is heaven itself. This is me, Michael, your guardian, whispering what I was born to say to you. You are still worth the miracle. And if you can still feel anything, if even one tear is forming, if even one breath feels heavier, if even one moment of peace just washed over your chest, then please, don't ignore this. This isn't a message. This isn't a script. This isn't a coincidence. This is your rescue. This is your open door. This is your chance to say, I believe again. Asterisk, and if your heart even slightly agrees, then I ask, please, beloved, show the angels who are watching this unfold, show heaven, that your soul still hears. Please like this message if your spirit felt it. Subscribe if your heart knows this wasn't just for anyone, this was only for you. And if you can, comment Amen as a sacred offering. Let that word be your yes. Let that single word break open what fear tried to bury. Let it be your cry, your confession, your courage, just this once, because I promise you, I swear on the wings I have burned for your name. If you say yes now, if you say Amen now, something will change, not just around you, inside you. The sky will shift, the winds will obey. The silence will finally break, and you will never forget this moment, this sacred second where heaven touched your name, and I will fall to my knees in holy joy because you came home. And everything will begin again, forever yours, Michael.